Good morning, Martin in the Philippines, and we're here in Real Talk Lifeline. So let's get right to a challenge of the day. Challenge of the day is anxiety. So, what are some quick practical tips that I can share with you? Again, this is just based on my personal experience, so I can only share what works or what has worked for me. Those watching the live or watching the replay, feel free to comment down in the chat below. Write down, share like what has worked for you as well. If you have encountered this challenge as well, which is anxiety. So, quick practical tips I could share. Number one, journaling thoughts. So, when I say journaling thoughts, what I do is I tend to write down the best lessons, or as a mentor of mine puts it, his greatest epiphanies. So what this does is it has like a multiple fold effect. One is it integrates the lesson in me more. So there is a difference of the acquisition versus integration of knowledge or lessons. So there's a huge difference there. And that helps calm my mind. Number two is I also notice the thought patterns over time. So if I check my journaling posts maybe a year ago or so, you might see certain patterns or differences there. Like I was thinking about these things back then, and then now it's this. So it could be good, bad. You could see that maybe you're slipping into a deeper hole, or I could be slipping deeper. I could also see that hey, maybe there's progress. Hey, maybe this is getting better. So first step would be to journal down my thoughts. It's not just the gratitude journaling, like counting my blessings. You could literally free write. So there are moments I was listening to this um it was like a YouTube, like a spoken word thing, and it was please don't kill yourself. Because I did have thoughts along the lines of that. So journaling thoughts has helped me with my anxiety over the years. Number two, cutting out shit in my life. So what does this mean? It means making hard decisions, whether it involves friends, family, social conditioning. If you've heard of that term, it's like society expects me to be a certain way, and one of the hardest things is also family. Sometimes family expects me to be a certain person or a certain career path like that. Point here is making hard decisions that, how do I say this? If they do not support my happiness, then I have to make a hard decision to cut that out. And I have experienced this personally, like with my guy friends. It was pretty sad actually, because there was like an intervention, and I really, it felt like Lord of the Flies. Long story short, I opened up about my depression, and I took a risk, and there was a point where I felt like almost jumping off the balcony of of that restaurant's open deck floor. It was pretty bad. So sometimes I just have to make a hard decision. They're- Maybe to them they were trying to help me, but it that was real hard for me personally. So I had to make that hard decision. And that helps also with the anxiety moving forward. Number three, doing what I want to do, really, it's kind of related to the earlier one. Doing what I want to do, really, instead of living a life that I feel forced to do and don't really want it. So, in my personal experience, I've found this has to be the core, like one of the core reasons why anxiety happens when someone is stuck doing something that they don't like. So if someone's stuck in work, someone's stuck in a relationship, or someone's stuck in a friendship, or maybe even a family, as hard as that is to hear, that they don't want to be in. So one thing I learned is to treat people with freedom. So if somebody really didn't want to be with me, the best decision I learned was to just let them go. So the hard part there is also learning to do that for myself, which I've been trying to work on since 2014. So I am not totally over this anxiety thing. I'm just sharing the things that work for me. Next step, a mentor told me this. If you're tripping out over small shit, you need bigger shit to trip out over, son. So, and when I heard this, uh, yeah, it did put a smile on my face actually, because all it means is it's perspective. If my problem seems so big, it really helped when I started seeing other people with so much bigger problems. Let's say I'm running out of money this year. I could potentially, my bank account could go down to zero by the end of this year because I'm paying for insurance policies, stuff like that. And then I have a client who just lost his job. He doesn't have money right now, and he's just doing it the best that he could, and he is getting by. So the anxiety or the relief, like when I see that, it helps a lot. It does. And it's not to put anyone down. It's to uplift each other actually. Next step, purpose or mission. So this one I've been struggling with because since 2015 when I started my work, they asked me to make a dream board, which I've shared in the other lives, and the whole point of this was I didn't even have a why or a purpose back then. And I've been working on that proactively since 2019. I attended a course, so that's a different story. The whole point of this is if you have a calling, a vision, or you feel like you're compelled to serve a higher purpose, and it usually comes from your deepest pain. That's one of the hints I would give. Then focus on this. Get back to this. Just like how I'm doing this live. If I just think of little or petty things about myself, I won't be able to do this live. But if it serves a higher purpose or a bigger picture, it becomes easier to do it. So it helps make the noise go away. So I won't matter if I look like I just newly woke up, my hair is all over the place, or whatever. I'm doing it for a bigger reason. So that helps the anxiety go away. Last practical tip, environment. So this one is, there's a saying, environment is stronger than willpower. An environment that works that I've found is in my industry, I've found this group called the $1 Million Roundtable. And again, it's not the fancy name or like the whole million thing. My favorite part of them was they were not selfish. These were people who it felt like they were sharing their best secrets with me. It's like, why are you telling me this? So it's like they share the best parts, and they're not even asking me for money or anything. They just do it selflessly. And I've met other people who they'll charge me an arm and a leg, and then they hold back. So they just share me like some 50% or half, like pull their punches thing like that. So for me, that's a load of BS, right? So an environment that is truly supportive. When I took my Quantum Leap program, it's a T. Harv Eker signature program. You tend to meet people on a higher level, so that type of environment tends to be more supportive. Also, when I took my Tony Robbins courses, not all of them, mind you, are gonna be high level or constructive or supportive. But when you tend to go to like Date with Destiny or the mastery groups, and I think one of the highest levels is like platinum partnership. It's like $20,000 just to get in there. The people tend to be way more supportive. They're coming more from a place of abundance. Or for me, just a simple term is they're more unselfish. So and again, like they don't have any agenda. So those are quick practical tips again that have helped me with anxiety. Feel free to put more in the chat if you got some cool tips, because I know other people, they have different methods, let's say meditation or other effective tools or methods that have worked for them. So share them down below. So last thing to end this live, comment deep dive down below if you want that last free deep dive. Deep dive is a one-on-one with me. So it's probably going to be a little longer than this short live. And what we're going to do is it's safe, it's over Zoom, and we're here to get answers to your biggest challenge or problem in life right now. Now, when I say get answers, what I mean is I will be open to hear your side. So I will listen first, and then after that, we can go deeper to get answers. Now, the whole point of this is I don't want to tap dance around the truth. This is for people who want the truth. So if you're someone who just wants to vent out and then you don't really want to get better, you don't want to change your life, you're just gonna repeat some cycle of shit like that, then don't do the deep dive. I personally don't have the patience for that. So, but if you want to do that on a different occasion with your friends, that's healthy too. Find someone who you can do that with. So the deep dive is for a totally different person who wants real, raw, authentic conversations. So thank you. I love you, and I will see you next time.